And you're right. I'm wrong. I don't know about race cars.
Hey guys, welcome to Turn 4 Talks. We're happy to have you. This is Nate. I'm Nate. This is Pop. I hope y'all are having
Identity
a great
crisis.
yeah. I hope you're having a great time. It was Dover All Star Racing this weekend. It was a different format and a different track than we were used to, and I think we'll dive into that and some other hot topics for the weekend.
Yo, man, where you been? Like, newsflash, man. We had a honey cut win like 4 races in 2 days. And then his guy, Connor, over there win. And then, the Burgermeister. But we missed one. Moving on.
Yeah, we missed one. We had some bumps come up, and we just couldn't get through it. But I think, all in all, that's we're gonna just dive right back in with Dover here. Um, I think it was a good weekend. I actually attended the race this weekend for Saturday and Sunday. I wasn't able to make it Friday, but it was a good turnout. I felt like, and there was a lot of people there. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun, and I think that the races were kind of all on the same par this weekend.
Yeah, and I was just like most of you, just a confused fan at home watching TV going, but hey, we'll get into it.
Yeah, so I will obviously dive right into the trucks for entry here.
There you go.
Well, you had some takes on the weekend.
Wow, craziness, man. Hey, we'll start out. Mini. No, all week long, don't trash in the third turn. And then Minnie, there he was, going 3 wide on his teammate for the day, Mr. Clint Boyer. He spun that thing out. I mean, they never touched, but crazy.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Clint back in a truck. I don't know the last time it's been a few years since he's even been in anything. So to see him pop up in the truck ride was kind of fun. Um, I definitely didn't expect him to do amazing, so I think he kind of ran about on par with what I thought. And yeah, the wreck with the teammate was a little bummer because you think that both of them would have hopefully gotten through that race, and they've been building some momentum over there at Dodge. They're not making headlines yet, but I think they're slowly making that march towards progress here.
Yeah, Haley had that crazy ride too in his Dodge, which that was a crazy wreck as well. But definitely cool to see LaJoy up there. I can't believe they didn't give him the waiver.
Yeah.
And then again, Butterbean's coming to the occasion, and you know, excited to see it. I mean, there's Dodges running.
Yeah, I think the thing that stuck out the most to me, what you just mentioned, I mean, those are all some interesting observations, but definitely the LaJoy not getting the waiver. I think this is one of the few moments where I actually think the modern charter system rule set is something that I dislike a lot. I mean, they want to do it to prevent people just showing up, but that doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I'm using Corey Heim as an example. I mean, technically, yeah, he'd still be in the top. I don't know where he'd be, but I know he had enough points lead that he'd still be in contention if he just decided to show up and run some races. And I feel like that does take a little heart out of the old school NASCAR because you don't get these guys who, I mean, Corey LaJoy's situation, he showed up at the season late. I mean, you start to wonder a little and go like, if he can outright do it, I mean, prior to this charter system, like if the guy could have made the points, that's what he had to do. I get wanting them to start all 36 races or to less in the truck.
And
Still.
you can't fault anyways. NASCAR, everybody's like, we want. I mean, they're banging their heads off the wall, man. I'm getting to be one of the most frustrated fans. I love my sport to death, and I'll always watch it and I'll always go. But I mean, you're just getting overwhelmed, man. There's so much you can't do. But you know, anybody showed up in the back day, if they showed up in, say, Rockingham 3 races in and they drove through the points, they weren't like saying, well, you can't contend. So
Yeah.
it's, oh, we want the old point system, yet, no, you can't have that, though. But I don't know.
No, I say let him ride. I don't think there's any particular benefit for these guys to miss races. And like we've talked about it numerous times, but Corey Haim's situation is not ideal. Let's be honest. Yeah, he's getting a bunch of Cup starts. Yeah, he's getting a bunch of Xfinity and Truck Series starts. O'Reilly. He can't run for points in any of these. I could see, and it's too late now to salvage that. He hasn't ran every race, so if all of a sudden he could put together a deal with Tricon, who he'd been with, then you'd think they'd get a truck from maybe the rest of the year because screw it, let's go win a second championship. But that's null and void because they doesn't matter what they do.
And it makes you want to watch. Like, well, what's this guy doing? You know what I mean? Like, it had me pulling in. I was kind of excited for it. But then all of a sudden you're like, it kind of hampers some people. I'm sure the LaJoy fans are like, yeah, he's gonna run that truck, but you're still like, man, that's crazy. But I mean, more with the trucks. I mean, and we get off the crying. Kyle Busch, man, number 69. That is like crazy. And, they call all the chase sexuals, but they have these Kyle Busch fans that are like, yo, I get some every time the guy wins. And, they're like flipping out now because he's winning again. So, and it was win number 69. So that put on a whole twist in the world. Like, I'm on the internet going, is this a thing? And meanwhile, you're like a chase sexual. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. But hey, it turns me on to see him run good and sell. What can we say? Sorry, we went too far.
No, it was definitely neat for them being back for the first time in to amount of years to being at Dover, and then Kyle Busch stepping right in and showing him how it's done is definitely, and it's an ARCA track, so a lot of these guys and gals have driven up through it. All right, I got one last truck topic before, which has probably been beat to death by everybody this week, but
Gio? We're gonna talk about Gio.
no,
He was running really good there. He just at the end slipped up. Thought he had it there for a while. Go ahead. What you got?
Somebody quitting midway through the race, and interestingly enough, this is as NASCAR fans, especially, and if you're diehard enough to listen to our podcast, even more so, you kill for a chance to get behind the wheel and drive one of these things, and if you could make a career out of this, and even if you had to fight and string it along to get an opportunity and say, I'm I'm over this. I'm parking the car. I mean, I I can't remember anything.
She was flipping out. She was blaming the race director. She was pointing a finger. But, I'm going to beat it to death. I heard it other places, and it made me think, like, who put that schedule together, man, to send her to Dover? That track is tough, man. There's a lot of other places I feel like. And I was confused, too. She's like, oh, the sponsor on the car. Yo, Nico's Bagels, man. Like, I mean, what was it? A hole in a program in the middle of the thing? I was confused. I couldn't figure out what that comment was. I felt bad for her, but at least she got that bottle of water when she went down there, man. So I give her that.
I'll do a quick backtrack for anyone who hasn't been following too crazy as a race fan. Natalie Decker quit pretty much midway through the Truck Series race. She cited, as he mentioned, some issues with the race director and the series director, and but she pretty much said, "I can't do this," and then she had a minor panic attack, pretty much saying like, "I'm gonna get so much hate on social media for this," and blah 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 along those lines. I definitely, she actually was the female driver that I was the biggest fan of for the longest time. I thought she had a lot of potential when she was coming through ARCA. I thought she was a decent driver.
She's fast.
Yeah, but she because not the first time she's had hilariously bad radio calls, and I am just well.
I'm not getting on the bandwagon with those people. I wish her the well. It's more confusion because there's a lot behind that story. I feel like that we just don't know, and that's all you hear is that radio banter. So
Yeah, I think that's a really honest, fair outlook that I feel like a lot of people aren't. They're going to pick a side on this, but it's hard because this is just one sided and we don't know. And most of the clips that people have shared on social medias of the banter is it's continuous, but it's just clipped. We don't hear anything before, we don't hear anything after. She was serving a penalty for something or a drive through along those lines. Um, but and we don't know what transpired or and clearly there's been some issues that predate this maybe, so who knows what other things, especially when you're a mid to back driver and that's not even a knock on her abilities, it's just uh, but the truth is you don't the your small storylines don't happen through the weekend. Somebody in the Cup Series, for example, like Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Denny, have a like, oh, their is having issues, or they're overheating or something. You hear about that immediately. You don't hear about the guy. You don't hear about if Cody Ware is having like a low battery drain on the car through the whole race, and Mike only maybe hear. Anyways, um,
crazy stuff, man. But 62 was out there. It was pretty wild to see Bell back there. I guess he was hoping to do the Bristol match again, man. He had a quick run. Hoseval was driving through that field like a crazy man again. But hey, that's interesting. So I guess we got to go to the Nopas. The Nopas?
yeah, gotta go to that NASCAR Riley Auto Parts Racing Series. Um, but hey, I at least didn't say Xfinity that time.
Yeah, you don't have the job, man. Well, he's got no money right now anyway. He spent it all going to the race. And he had to buy me the shirt as a punishment. So, hey, moving right
Well,
along.
you're gonna scream Minnie out 10 times.
Man, hey! Yo, he's got to get on the show one day. We can have this conversation.
Yeah. O'Reilly Series race was tame, and from at least the grandstand perspective, I've watched a little bit of the highlights, but there wasn't anything that was too crazy to me, and I was watching a few guys, but it was tough to follow any major stories to the race, obviously.
Man, those cars are rocketing and chipping around them, man. It was the whole Raja thing, man. Like, he's in that 88, and you got two guys won in that thing already, and he knows it's a winner, but, bring it home in second place. Like, and him and Love, man, they're like magnets together on the racetrack now. It just seems like that. It's like, yo, who you got to run it? Here we go. So it's one of those things you start catching and noticing on the track.
I think, well, rolling it back a little, you mentioned the '88 Raja. I I think part of that, not who I'm not a psychiatrist or somebody who's in his inner circle, but I almost imagine that sort of pressure is starting to build. I mean, and no knock on Jordan Anderson or whoever's car he ends up in on these other weeks, but it's clearly not JRM equipment, and he's been doing a lot with what he's been given, and he's been making good points in the races that he's with Junior Motorsports equipment. I just think he's seeing these other drivers win, and he's, as you mentioned, just starting to get antsy for it because he knows he has to kind of make a splash when in reality, I guess the tortoise here, it's a slow burn. You just need a second place.
2025, man, roll the tape back a little bit, man. They put 10 wins down for a season. So, I mean, you definitely like, I got this opportunity. Mr. H called it in, and you're trying to fit in there and make it happen. And they're giving support to that Anderson team to help those guys out as well. But hey, just you got this, brother. You can do this. I think so.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really fair outlook. And speaking of HendrickCars.com, um, not our advertisement because we don't have one, but they sponsor Corey Day, obviously.
They sponsored the 7 truck too
Yeah,
for the truck win too.
I guess
So
I didn't even
you
think
know,
about
if
that.
only Kyle could have pulled it off, it would have been a happy day, but it
Yeah,
didn't happen.
but Day is definitely, I don't know, impressing me a lot more. We started off very harsh on him, me especially, in the first 3, 4 episodes after the first 3 or 4 races, and I was pretty much bashing him and throwing him under the table, saying this guy's just a walking hurricane. That's not even using a host for a reference, but it's just everywhere he went, it was like, all right, take out the nearest junior motorsports car, and maybe half the field. But I will go down and say that I definitely think his talking to with Mr. H has paid dividends. As he has always had speed. It was just a matter of being patient, biding your moment, trying to be a little less foolish and aggressive. And I don't think he's still got a lot to learn, obviously, but I think he's really made a big transition as we approach the double digit part of the calendar.
Yeah, he's got that Lawson-esque, the way he drove that thing to that wall. I mean, they say, oh, we run the high side at Dover, but he went to the wall, man. He split that lap car 3 wide, knocked the corner off the rear of it, and stayed in it, man. I mean, that's fun driving to watch, man. That to me was exciting. I know it had me glued to the TV. I mean, you know, and all guy, man, he's having a stellar season, but
Yeah, he's just keeping it rolling. You almost wondered if Jim Pullman wishes he was back on this team, but all guys seem to be striding just fine without it. Uh,
But he's going to start getting like Denny Hamlin, like how many got away from me? 1, 2, 3, like you know. But yeah, that car definitely was a rocket ship, no doubt about it. So they got something rock and rolling over there with the 17.
Anyone else or anything else in the race?
Man, I hated to see Ryan Sieg have problems. Man, Reslov had a few issues there. I mean, Sam May has come alive, man. The 41's here to show, man. He's been really pulling some nice runs, man. Nice to see. I get excited.
Yeah, talk about teams, just like I was mentioning with uh, Day. There's a lot of improvement. They definitely um, Haas factory team is I don't know, maybe not speaking for everyone, but I feel like a lot of people just thought that was gonna be a write off and just run 2 cars and just run a few races, maybe be competitive here and there. But the 2 drivers this year have proved in that 00 and 41 that that team is actually serious about competing in that series, and they're having some fun doing it, and they were having some bad luck too. But I guess it's not all checkers or wreckers. But it's really cool to see Haas Factory team kind of still be competitive, at least in that series.
Yeah, for sure. That kind of exciting to see. I mean, Jesse Love seemed to be having a good run there too, a little bit. I mean, Austin Hill seems to be the one that faded back, but he was always like that contender you saw up front there too. But and you know, we're all sad. We lost the last Ford man. I am racing 25. They did the shutdown. They announced it. Haven't been in the last 3 or 4 races, so you knew it was coming. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and that's definitely kind of sad to hear Ford's continued demise in that series, but I guess it's just the way it's gonna roll.
Well, they're throwing so much money at F1 right now with that engine program, and I think the trucks are selling, and the Cup cars. You know, I mean, you kind of get it. I think we beat this path a little bit here and there, but you know.
Yeah. Um, but all in all, it was a decent Xfinity race, especially from the grandstands. It had some entertainment value. There was some motion up at the front. I think it was fun to just watch that race. I took for granted how much I enjoyed live pit stops when we got to the Cup Series race and it was all under caution. But
Here we go with the disappointing confusion part.
Yeah, well, we'll jump right in then, I guess, for the Cup Series.
Man, I'm mind blown, man. I mean, the last 2 years, go back to Wilkesboro. I mean, it was so exciting. I don't know, old school, man. I love the Open. I love the Open. Most confusing why you stuck all those dudes together on the same track like that. And yeah, I get it. It was like heats, but I mean, I was so confused.
Yeah, no, I mean, you bring a good point. I think they were trying to calm the concerns of people not seeing a full race, and in hindsight, not just because I'm a Chase fan, I definitely am confused. Like, it was cool seeing all 40 cars on track or 36 cars on track at the same time, but it ended up costing numerous guys who were locked into that race their actual chance at the race. It's And then, I mean, the Open produces good racing, usually sometimes better than the actual All Star race itself. Um, so it's, I like that they tried to. But the thing I will say is the most frustrating is if this format ran at North Wilkesboro, I think this format would have been amazing and very fitting to the track. But it's not the right format for this track. And I definitely think that they screwed that one.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted, Zillage. There was a couple of guys that you wanted to see. Like, we know who the front runners are in the series. So, like, those guys are the all stars. Like, they should have, you could have made a 100 lap race and then just had these guys do something. I don't know. I'm still confused about it. I mean, I kind of like they did the heat race for qualifying at Wilkesboro the way they had that format. But like you want to see the guys that aren't in the front of the pack. You wanted to see who could battle and race. That's really how I felt about it. I mean, but oh, the old days, man. Neil Bonnet was 3 laps ahead of the rest of the field. He blew a tire. He went down pit road, came out. He still was a lap in front of the field. So don't say old days because that show was stinking up back then. But you just like. I mean, there were some really fast cars. I was confused. It really was.
Yeah, and then I like, I think in concept what they tried with inverting the top 26 between stages, and it kind of worked for a little while, given like a whole new crop of guys up front, and then the good drivers had to work their way back through. But I think it was confusing from an at track perspective, and I can only imagine. I mean, I knew it was coming, but I can only imagine a new fan or somebody who's going to their first race or who's going as a guest of somebody and has no idea what's going on and why the car you just thought you saw up front is now in the back and this. And I get it's gimmicky because it is the All Star race. I'm understanding of that, and I'm willing to make that like bridge, but I
Then why is it a qualifying race to run the slowest you can so you can be in the front of the second race? It's a reverse qualifying race. It's just backwards in a way. And then NASCAR was all confused too at times. They're like naming off what the start of the field is, and it was like the first 5 cars, 3 of them were in the garage and they weren't coming back out. You were like, wait, where is he? You're like, where's the 34? Wait, what? I was confused. I just like, you think they'd catch that stuff, but
yeah, and I think this is an at track complaint too. But when they pulled the chunk of the cars that weren't qualified in, uh, at the track, you could hear MRN on the radio feed, but it wasn't that clear, and I feel like I didn't hear who was all in and who was out because of all the cup guys who had either called it a quits or tried to go farther. But I I was very confused. All of a sudden, the field was a bunch smaller, and there was a bunch of cars. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you made this. Were you all right?" It wasn't easy to pick up. And again, I know that's that track, but it did take away from it for a few laps.
So at the track, do you have any strange favorites that you could say that was coming through the field that you felt had a good call?
I think Brad really had, at least early on, and it showed one of the fastest cars out there, and he was just rolling through the corners really well. Car seemed to fall off later in the day, and but uh,
I think all that practice time really helped Zilich out, man, because they figured something out with that call. It seemed pretty sweet. I felt bad about the pit stop because he definitely seemed like he could have been a contender up there with them Yodas.
all right. While we're harping on the formats here, I think this is one of the stupidest, like qualifying for the combined event um, was sending them on a short track, having them pit as full speed, but also maintain pit speed, but like, and then I have to count everything in your 2 laps, and you get penalized and get a speeding on pit road penalty. No, I think we did it right when they opened it up at Charlotte a few years back now, and just let everybody come flying off the corner. If you want to send it, you can send it, but clearly everyone is trying to, but getting locked down to that speed limit, it was
They did that at Wilkesboro too.
yeah. But I feel like
And it was a smaller track, but they came down it with some steam, man. There's no doubt about
yeah,
it.
I guess I'm not a fan of that format. I just feel like it's I don't know if you're gonna have this like hot lap pit stop essentially. It's I don't know. That felt like the starting order was a little odd on that aspect, but
And I don't want Dover to lose their race, man. Dover's long. My first Cup race was at Dover. Long history of great races there. It's she's one of the younger tracks from '69, but don't please don't go away. They'll fit it back in the schedule. I know people keep saying bring it back to Charlotte, but people don't want to spend a week at a racetrack anymore. Their attention spans are too short. It's like squirrel, what squirrel? They want the new latest and the greatest, but they need to find somewhere to bring that. Kind of like what they did with Bowman. Go to Hickory. There you go.
yeah, I think there's a lot of options. I think Dover deserves a cup race, and
Yeah, please.
hopefully it returns. I've been going the last 3 years now, and any highlights or lowlights from the cup race?
Oh man, I just yeah, I the wind just taken out of my sail with that lap two wreck. It was just the confusion set in, and I it's weird. I can't tell you how many races I go to and been at, and your driver gets wrecked. I stay there and watch, and I kind of used to do that on TV too, man. But I can't tell you how my attention span was like. I was just I don't know, OCD or ADHD, man. I really lost it. I'm not gonna lie, man. And I love racing, but I started listening to it more afterwards. I kind of stopped watching, came back towards the end, but I did have on the satellite, and I was listening to it, which there was a lot of fast cars there, and it was moving around too. Like when they flipped the stages, and you had Bubba running up there. It made it interesting, but I can't wait just to get on to this next. Back to I feel like let's have a fresh start at the 600, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think just getting back into that rhythm is a big thing for a lot of these teams. I think anyone but Denny and maybe Connor Zilich are just need to roll with what they got. And I mean, all things considered, yeah. And Denny looked solid all day. He looked pretty much how he did last year, which was a pretty dang good car and physically a good looking car. It was Byron's bright orange car.
That thing looks sharp. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
no wonder that thing won color of the year. That sold the most from Exalto. But yeah, there wasn't minus that few wrecks early. It was a quiet race though after that first stage for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I know Zillich, he got, I don't know, what was it, 25% off underwear. He finished in the top five, I kind of like going to Cheddar's for the free, queso dip, but, what are you going to do? But, you give it to the RCR cars and that was one that surprised me. Those boys were up there for a while. I know Kyle just had a little miss up, but it's good to see those RCRs all of a sudden figuring some stuff out, too.
Speaking of figuring things out, Ryan Preece has still not figured out not how to have the worst luck wreck wise.
That guy takes some of the wildest hits, man. He's a big guy. You see him get out of the car, you're like, dude, man, that was a crazy hit.
That was a really crazy hard hit, and then the whole thing engulfing in flames immediately afterwards. I I was sitting there shaking my head for a minute, going, well, "That's not something you usually see at Dover."
Lap two, though, that's what blows my mind. But again,
Can't win the race on lap one. Although SVG begs to differ, but
yeah, but he'll go in the pits and gain 29 seconds on you too. So what are you worried about?
yeah, yeah.
Just let him go. It's a race for second place when he's in the show.
Well,
Man, well, hey, that's what this sport is. We got our ups and our downs, man. We're all diehard fans. I love it. I'm confused. I'm driven nuts, but hey, that's what makes us fanatics, right? Because we love our sport. So, nothing else to say, man.
no, that's a good point. Um, Closeout notes, my friends. This upcoming Sunday, hopefully this gets posted in time,
Sunday.
is still the world's longest day of race car. With starting with the Indy 500 at noon, and then it is the Canadian Grand Prix at like 3 p.m. I think for Formula One, and then the Cup Series 600 miles at 6 p.m. from Charlotte on Prime. So I don't
Hey,
know.
we got someone trying to do the double, man. More power to her, right?
Yeah, I mean, good for Kathleen Legg, and if she can just complete both races and just finish both of the races, I think she
She'll beat
deserves
Kyle
the whole trip.
Larson's record.
Yeah, honestly, she actually only has to, that. I forgot how many miles it is, but she does not have to do that many miles to beat Kyle Larson's first attempt.
Yo,
So
man, Connor Zillich and Ross Chastain, man, they're gonna do the 1100. Doing the triple header, man. Trucks. What's the brain always Friday O'Reilly series? I didn't want to. I got no money for the jar, okay? And the Cup Series, man. So that's 1100, man. Hey, that's a different kind of 1100. But we'll
yeah,
see.
I do think that's kind of neat, but. And I saw that online, and part of me wants to go, yeah, but they're not getting on a plane after this and that. But, they're still driving a hell of a lot of miles in 3 days. So,
The weather's gonna be the thing with that. Looking this weekend, I hope it don't rain for you race fans out there. So believe me, we're making the Hickory show here on Thursday night. So hopefully we don't get rain too, but should see some good stuff, and we might even throw you a little teaser from there.
yeah. But besides that, looking forward to a nice long day of racing. Sit back, crack open a cold beverage of your choice, have a nice little snack platter, and dozing and out and laying on the couch all day watching all three major
Where's this
racing
guy
series.
live?
Um,
I got yard work to do. I'm just kidding.
I live on the couch watching racing. That's all I know.
Yeah,
But
well, I'm a fan of those fans.
but with that said, I guess thanks for tuning in to Turn Four Talk. We look forward to getting back on our regular schedule. And
Yo, man, we love you, man. We love you. You know, appreciate you listening to our crazy point of views and the nutty stuff we say, man. You know, smash like, you know, subscribe. You know, there's one fan out there we heard about, but yo, hit
shout
like,
out
dude.
to Jim.
Hit like, dude. No, we appreciate you, Jim. Safe travels out there, and you know. Yo, send us questions. Anybody's listening, man. We dig you all, man. So I appreciate you and wishing you an awesome Memorial Day and appreciate all you people that served and bring us all freedom, man. So thank you again, man. And till next week, man.
See y'all.
Peace.
I've done nothing wrong, and I will not tolerate it.